What's going? Okay, that's going. That's up. I can see it. Fantastic. And you go back to here. We'll go there. Nope, not that one. This one. That's gonna be the new one. Okay. Live chat. Clink. Link. Throw that in the blue sky. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right. Wait for some of you folks to get in here. Okay, it's Liddy made it. Alexander K made it. Callie Bull made it. Woo! Here we go. Wait for a few more folks to get jumped in here. All right, so memo endorsed. So notice it says memo endorsed on this guy right here. This memo is basically Bed Bath & Beyond, their lawyers saying, hey, these guys have no standing. Bed Bath & Beyond has the standing now. Make us have the standing. And the judge going, yep. So per the court's individual rule 4A, pre-motion letters and conferences generally are not required. Court shall file any intended motions within 2 weeks of this order. The clerk of the court is respectfully directed to close ECF number 72 from Dale Ho, the judge. So ordered. So this is memo endorsed. Basically, it looks like BBBY is now the plaintiff suing Ryan Cohen using money Ryan Cohen gave them to sue him with. So, hey, here we are. we're now moving quickly. So I guess BBBY is the new plaintiff in the case where they're basically suing themselves. So now they can negotiate a settlement, file their own motion. Well, they probably may be required to file their own complaint and then superseding complaint. And then their superseding complaint might be like, Ryan Cohen only wears black T-shirts, and we don't like that. And then the judge goes, this is weird, and boots the whole thing. Or they just be like, hey, Your Honor, we did CR 64 conference with the defendant, and we've reached an agreement for a settlement, blah, blah, blah. It's over. And then they can just do whatever they want and everything can be all happy. So yay. That just came on a couple minutes ago. And here we are. Okay. Are things going to go? Okay, we're back. All right. Whew. I can see what I'm doing now. So much better. So sorry. Again, if you threw questions in the last time around, throw them back in there. Hopefully we'll get to those questions. If I missed your questions, 1,000 apologies. Everything just kind of turned black on me and I had to restart Streamlabs. Noreen, Houston, how long do you think BBY pump and dump case will take to be resolved and done with? Judging from this memo endorsed by the judge, days? I really do not think that BBBY has any interest in taking this lawsuit on. I think they want to just end it and get it over with. Just remember, the fee statements had these lawyers talking with activist investor, discussions with activist investor about lawsuit, more questions with activist investor about lawsuit. I think this has a lot to do with wanting to get this thing out of the way. So this stuff was pre-planned, put in there that these guys don't have standing. BBY jumps in and agrees they don't have standing, that we have the standing, and then they just wipe the slate clean, get a clean rune stick, and move on with their lives. And yeah. Your Honor, part of the agreement we have is that we're going to issue new equity to everybody and cash in these 95 different companies, and we're going to blow up the market. That's, I think, is where it's going. So quickly, Noreen. Alfred Simpson is here. Andrew Stewart, Houston technical difficulties 8, always always an ass kicking. You're telling me. Deep Sixer, what is your current take on GME? I think GME is involved with Bed Bath & Beyond, or BBBY, I should say at this point. 2023-0930 DK Butterfly 1 through 72 or whatever butterflies they have. I think there is some sort of merger acquisition that's going to take place between the two of them, that we're going to have equity distributed, whether it's, bye-bye baby or TED equity to the GME people, DK Butterfly people get those, plus GME and cash, things like that. I think we're looking, I think it's going to be, like in sports, sometimes you have one of those like really complicated 3 or 4 team trade deals where like this team needs a world-class hitter. They've got a couple of pitchers. They want to send it to another team. That team needs catcher. So they're going to go with these guys who need the pitchers. And then all these trades happen. I think that's what this whole Keiretsu butterfly, Knowles. I think this is a really, really complicated trade that's going to be multiple players involved, multiple teams, and everybody's going to walk away happy. And if you can trust Mark Bastille, he was talking about how SPACs are the only way to really screw over the short hedge funds, because issuing new equity doesn't do it. Issuing dividends hasn't been doing it. Doing spin-offs and crypto, they're finding all sorts of different ways. But with the SPAC, only the people who have the true shares get the shares. And then the brokers and all their little minions at the hedge funds and market makers are desperate to try and find a way to get enough shares for that stuff. So man, let's get weird. Let's get weird indeed. Iggy Lemon posted the link. Fantastic. Thank you, Iggy. Phil, I read that if it doesn't happen by 2024, it'll be a whole shit show in terms of taxes. You got me, man. You got me. Like, can you claim a tax write-off for this year and then next year get a huge boon? I don't know. True damage. So, prior question I had was, how addictive can hopium be for MMTLP? MMTLP is going to take a lot longer than we thought. We're now in the slow process where Congress is demanding information from the SEC and FINRA, and they're going, I don't know. And they're hoping to do that for another year, because a year from now, they get to destroy all the paperwork. They'll have to keep that paperwork around for 2 years. And believe me, the minute they don't have to keep that paperwork around, they're going to put it into a shredder and be like, sorry, Your Honor, 2 years are up. We don't only have to maintain these records for this long. I think it's great news that Next Bridge is pumping oil and it's connected to a pipeline. They can sell it. So now they're going to have revenue. And they can be able to show this revenue like, hey, we've got, 5, 10, 15 wells all pumping oil and we're selling it. We're making this much money at this price, and life's awesome. So they're going to be doing that. Meanwhile, that makes the tangible value of their oil fields worth a lot, because over the past year and a half, similar oil fields that are developed and are pumping oil, they're selling for about $30 billion per billion barrels. And we have 3.5 to 4.5 billion barrels in there. So looking at that deal price upwards of $120 billion, which comes out to about $500 a share for existing number of shares that are out there. That's screaming. And that's one way to just obliterate any shorts out there, is if you all of a sudden, you've got a billion shorts and they're owing $500 on each one of those things, there goes their money. What's going to come first? A government crackdown and a negotiated settlement, or an offer from a major oil company for the field at premium because, they're producing oil? I don't know. And we're going to sort of, wait. Meow Meow, Godzilla versus Darth Vader, who wins? Godzilla. In a heartbeat. Darth Vader will go, Marr! Godzilla will just shoot him with his nuclear breath, and then that'll be it for Darth Vader. I don't think Darth Vader wins against Godzilla. I think Godzilla wins. Darth Vader couldn't beat his own kid. What's he going to do against Godzilla? Skirts, too. Houston, love the show, man. How fucked is Doug Sifu if this thing goes to say 1,000? Please play the calculator game with us. I mean, he's screwed no matter what. I don't know. Okay, going to there. Turn on the calculators on. Try to turn off the Chrome. There we go, calculator. I don't know how many shares he shorted. I have no idea what their sold yet, not yet delivered numbers are. I would guess, let's say there's 5 billion shorts out there at BBBY. Maybe Virtue is responsible for 20% of them, so 1 billion, right? Maybe it's 10% of that. Maybe it's only 100 million. And go with. Then he owes 1.5 billion in cash, which is a lot of cash to come up with immediately. And then if it's a whole bunch of equity in a whole bunch of companies they don't have a finger on, then they're going to have to go out there. They're going to have to go buy that stock new, fresh from the holders who do not want to sell it, right? Like, oh, I want to buy your new Lego company or your new SpaceX or whatever happens to be tied in there. And we go, cool. The starting price is $350 because that's what we were told from the S1 or whatever comes out. And we want more than that because these are pretty special companies and we hate you. So you're going to have to make us go, fine, I will overcome the hate I have for you by you enriching me in a possible level, which I think will quickly lead to them failing their capital requirements, getting margin called, and then liquidated. I'm not sure how much of it will be on the market maker side, how much will be on the Virtue Capital hedge fund side, but I wouldn't doubt if they're both so integrated, tied together that they both just get vaporized. But yeah, $100 billion, trying to come up with $100 billion is a tough ask for anyone. I mean, if you're to go to the biggest bank in the world right now and be like, hey, I need $100 billion, they're going to just fold. Like, there is a huge liquidity crisis going on, and the cash just is not available to do plays like that. So if they're going under, the other hedge funds, family funds, and market makers are going under at similar or greater rates than what Virtue will have. So, yeah, it's money is what's needed. Okay. Is it factory? What happens if someone has shares in Fidelity and Fidelity goes under during the squeeze? Do you get frozen out, trade as normal, or is it like a bank where your stuff has insurance? Or I think it'd be like a bank where if a broker goes under, it goes under on a Friday. The regulators work really hard over the weekend, and then all of a sudden, or if there's a big brokerage that goes under, it'll probably be Schwab, because Schwab is already like shitting $300 billion in liabilities or something right now. But I think strength-wise, Fidelity is probably stronger amongst a whole bunch of them. Iggy saying I'm freezing, but Ernest isn't here. I'm like home alone. So the internet's just terrible right now. I'm getting the warning that my internet bitrate is lower than recommended, and no one is here using the internet except me. So Comcast just sucks, Iggy. Sorry. But no one's here. No one's here to take my internet. It's just terrible Comcast is what's happening. How much porn is my roommate downloading again? Seriously, I'm alone. Person with no name, so no buy on real estate brokers like Compass. I don't even know who Compass is. Compass.com. I don't think we have Compass out here. If we do, never heard of them. Oh, apparently they've got 3 offices in Seattle. Do they have one in Bainbridge? Huh. Apparently there's one in Bainbridge. I've never heard of this person, though. But, so no buy on real estate brokers like Compass. I don't know enough to say one way or the other. Yes. Bro, you're having connection issues. I'm seeing myself fine on my YouTube thing. What's wrong with everything? Why is everything terrible? What? Why? Shirt was derated for shipment, but not ironed. No, it was. I don't know if you can iron this thing. It would just melt, man. It would just melt. Okay, saying it's good now. All right. So, if the internet does what the internet does, I have no power over that. Holy shit, that shirt's so good. It's a good shirt. Michael Mystery sent it. It is, if I have to do any activity whatsoever, I'm going to sweat buckets in this thing. It is definitely not breathable. It's like one of those like rubber rain jackets almost. Okay. One Nereos. He's had a birthday. What are your thoughts on the massive upcoming economic crash affecting the U.S. domestic political situation in 2024? I don't know if an economic crash is going to affect politics as much as one of the leading candidates and potential nominee being sentenced to prison will affect things. The Republicans are, I think they're going to be in absolute disarray this summer at their convention trying to figure out somebody to replace him. Because they're going to be given the choice like, do we run this guy from prison? Or do we select somebody who's most certainly no one's ever heard of and a terrible person, and we're not going to vet them enough, and it's going to be a disaster when they run. So it's going to be there's probably going to be their options. I don't think the Republicans do well in 2024 as far as the House and Senate are concerned. They may pick up Manchin's seat in West Virginia, but the House literally has nothing to show their constituents what they've done. They have nothing whatsoever. They have, they fired their speaker, couldn't find a speaker. When they got a speaker, all they did was infight and argue with each other the entire time, and they all hate each other. So there's going to be ads run in all these different states showing like, hey, Joe Blow from Oklahoma couldn't get the job done. Here he is on the floor of the House saying, we can't do anything. We're useless. Can you just show me what I can take back to my constituents as an accomplishment we made? They've accomplished nothing. And you're going to just get negative ad. And I think different states trying to eliminate a woman's right to choose is also affecting them. I think that's why Bashir won re-election in Kentucky was based on that, despite Republicans winning like every other office in the state. Ultra conservative states like Kansas had huge voter turnout to keep abortion legal. Same thing in Ohio. If you put abortion on the ballot, or the Republicans don't win. It was a terrible, terrible thing for them to do on a political scale of actually doing what they said they were going to do. Like, you talk about eliminating abortion, then you just never eliminate it, because then you can talk about eliminating it forever and raise money forever. The minute they eliminated it, everyone's like, "Oh, we got to get it back," and they're getting outspent and out grassrooted in that area. Personal name: what about friends who are real estate brokers in the Seattle area? What should they expect? I ask my real estate broker friends all the time, but they're here on Bainbridge. I need to branch out and know some that are outside of Bainbridge, because Bainbridge is a weird place full of rich people who buy all their homes with cash. There are a few very expensive homes that have been on the market for quite a while and they're not selling. We're talking like homes that are $10 to $20 million, and they're sitting on the market and they're not budging. So I don't know if there's a market for those places, but the $2-3 million homes, they're still selling like crazy. They're not selling quite as fast as they were in like 2021, but they're people are getting inspections now and they're doing qualifying offers, but still a lot of times it's cash, so they're taking out loans on their investment portfolios and then buying the houses with that, basically buying the house on margin. Like 2 doors down from me to the south, a home just sold this spring. It's a quaint little grandma house. They tore that sucker down so fast, now they're building a giant monstrosity on the property. So I don't know if it's a spec house or if it's someone bought the house because they want to build their dream home. But stuff's still happening. I think if you get to what I would call borderline vacation areas, your Pigeon Forge, your Ozark, your Branson, Missouri, your Fort Lauderdale's, your Ocean Shores, Washington, you're going to start seeing the Airbnbs up for sale now. That they just cannot pay for them anymore, and you're going to have the market flooded in a lot of places. Myrtle Beaches, whatever. These places are dependent upon tourism, but aren't like, your Paris, France, or Honolulu, Hawaii type tourism levels. They're like, local tourists. The people who live in South Carolina, they'll drive out to Myrtle Beach to go on vacation. The people who live in Baltimore will go to Ocean City, Maryland for vacation, right? Like the local tourist stuff, not like the big name Universal Studios, Hollywood type places. I think that's where the Airbnbs are going to start imploding. We're already seeing in Manhattan proper apartments. You could not find an apartment in Manhattan for under $300,000. Now there are hundreds of them up for sale for under $300,000. That I think is an effect of Airbnbs, because they've really cracked down on Airbnbs in New York. You can no longer Airbnb an entire house. The person who's Airbnb-ing it must live there, so it can only be individual rooms that get rented out. So folks are just putting them up on the market, and they're now starting to compete with each other. And there's 8% mortgage rates, so no one wants to buy anything. So you're gonna have to make the prices even lower and do short sales and stuff. So I think it's coming. First one, no name. How much my house degrade? I bought in 2010. So I'm sure I'm good. I think whatever it degrades to will still be greater than what you bought it for in 2010. But I wouldn't doubt seeing 20-25% drops in home values when this thing's all said and done, and then starts building back up from there. When the government starts printing money again and lowering interest rates, and people can buy houses and etc. Andrew Stewart super chat. I saw pictures, and it actually is a drilling rig. It's a junk rig, but that's common for smaller oil companies. Been trying to learn more about, but they're playing it tight. Talking about the picture that I sent you on the university lands. Okay, so all right, noted. They've got, I think, 5 rigs currently drilling at the moment, if I remember correctly, and they have to do 5 according to their lease per year. But since they're now going for production level stuff, they're getting it done quicker so they can start sucking stuff out of the ground. So there we go. First Day Productions going back to our world simulation. Does that mean that we are potentially artificial intelligence trying to take over our makers? I mean, you're asking the philosophical tales that I cannot answer because I don't have the answers. I would venture to guess that we are not a simulation. WI lean towards. We're not a simulation, because the computing powers needed to process such a simulation would be the size of a universe anyway. So how are you going to make a universe exist? I mean, seriously, like, what type of coding do you have to do to make this shirt work? This loud ass, sweaty little shirt. Like, not only do you have to program in from the most basic level of, hey, we sucked a bunch of oil out of the ground. We refined that oil into a vinyl sheet. I have no idea what this is made of, but it feels very much like a pool toy. And it's got a fabric inside though, so it's like a laminate on top, like a raincoat. So yeah, we've made this into a vinyl. We had all these dyes in it. The dyes came from a titanium mine over here, a cobalt mine over there. We mixed those together, and now we've got the programming done to make this plastic shirt. They got sent across the globe because we've got a program involved that allows us to send stuff from one place to another, blah, blah, blah. And now the shirt's all crinkly and wrinkly, and it makes lots of sound when Houston moves around and refracts light like crazy. And you don't see any weird glitches happening except for the fact that my internet's garbage. And if we're going to be in a simulation, why are we going to make a simulation where the internet's garbage everywhere when we can just mind melded or something across the airwaves. I think it's just a really complicated way of doing things. I mean, it fits with the whole Matrix narrative. Like, we tried to make the Matrix a paradise, and no one could believe it, and so we had to make it hell on earth. But no, I don't think we're a simulation. I think the universe just is what it is, and we're stuck in it. No choice otherwise. Derek Horse, S1 me Ryan. Oh, please do. Okay. White Tyler before Pulte meetup. You think Bill knows something? Seems awfully close to Ryan via Twitter. I think he does. Someone pointed out that, so Bill Pulte posted the picture of the Talks Cheap Money Buys ice cream thing, right? The website only had this little fuzzy thumbnail that was like, a few bits. Somehow Bill Pulte has a high-res version of that he posted. Where'd he get that high-res version of the changed book cover they could post? If the website only has this itty-bitty little low-res thumbnail. Sounds to me like somebody might have a connection. Might have a man on the inside providing him high-res JPEGs so he can tweet them out. Right? Anonymous! Any guesses what is in that otherworldly UBS swap? Oh, the $999 trillion one? Everything that went bad in 2008? I don't, that's $1 quadrillion is about 14 times the size of our entire global economy. So if that goes puny pop, everything goes puny pop or something like that. Like, I can understand having heavy thumbs. I can understand having heavy thumbs make typos and stuff, but like a $1 quadrillion typo that's been sitting around for 2 years seems really weird to me. That no one's been like, oh, there's a typo there, let's fix that. Instead, they're like, well, no one wants to touch the equity swap and be responsible for $1 quadrillion in liability. So UBS, you're screwed. I mean, maybe if they turned it into like a 500-year bond, and then that's what they did. Your great grandkids can finally get paid out on that bond at 8% a year, which would be pretty sweet. I'd take 8% a year, Monkey. A $1 quadrillion bond. Does that work for you? That's a good chunk of change. I'll take a few trillion. Yeah. That works for me. I'll do it. Cameron Mirza, can I send you a Blue Sky code via Blue Sky? No, because Blue Sky does not yet have DMs. They've talked about integrating them, but there's no DMs yet on Blue Sky. So if you send me anything, it just, everyone can see it, and then they can just take your Blue Sky code and so on and so on. So that's, yeah. Okay. Treetop, I own 120,000 shares of Vacachella stock. It's dead stock. Maybe BBY can merge with them? I don't know what Vacachella is. What is Vacachella? Vacachella. Internet application enables entrepreneurs to post short-term vacation rental property target acquisitions. I don't think anyone wants anything to do with short-term rental properties at this point. So, they were founded in 2003, and they were doing that then. A little ahead of their time to die. Interesting. Andrew Stewart, Houston. Why wasn't I taught a bunch of math that I have never used? Why was I taught a bunch of math I've never used in my life? I've never have to factor a polynomial ever. You should. I when I taught the Art Institute, the largest class I taught was the algebra course, because that was the most of the degrees that are conferred. You need to have an algebra component to get a bachelor's degree. So I teach an algebra class, and I always challenge students. Like I told them, I'm only going to teach you stuff that you would be expected to use in your real life. And I would get to like quadratic equations and factoring polynomials and stuff. And the students, they'd always be like, "Oh, what am I ever going to use this for?" Okay, what's your degree? And they would say something like fashion marketing. I'm like, all right, we're going to do a parabola. It's going to be a sale price, and the other is demand, right? You cross those two things, you find a sweet spot in the middle. And to find that sweet spot in the middle, you have to combine the two equations, the two factor polynomials, put them together to make a quadratic equation, and that makes your parabola. And that parabola is going to be a parabola with the cup facing down, and the peak, that's the price you're going to make. Because if you make the price larger, you get fewer buyers, and with fewer buyers, you make less profit. If you make the price too small, it'll be too small compared to your cost, and you'll have a lot of buyers, but you'll be losing money on every single solitary one. So you find that sweet spot. And that sweet spot is the entire reason why you go to the grocery store and milk is $3.50 a gallon unless it's on sale. Because what they discovered is if you make the milk $4 a gallon, people don't buy it. You make the milk $2 a gallon, everyone will buy it, but you're not making a profit anymore. So you find that sweet spot, that cost-benefit analysis. It's the whole reason what those things exist for. If you are going across a bridge, that parabola shape of the bridge is a parabolic stress function. Or if you're driving on the highway and you look at some big flatbed trailer bed that's on the back of a semi-truck that might carry a Caterpillar D9 tractor or whatever, it too is in the shape of a parabola. It's a very large parabola. The focal point might be like deep inside the earth, but the parabolic stress function is one of the things that allows that flatbed trailer to exist. Now, the average person, yeah, they don't need to know this. And I would tell my students, like, you may not actually ever use this equation in your life, but 20 years from now, what I want you to do is when you buy something at Target or the grocery store or a car on a car lot, that there is someone who specifically did that equation to figure out what price they're going to charge you, because that's the price you're willing to pay, and they know it. And so you may not have to do that equation yourself, but knowing that somebody is using that equation to fuck with you is very important. Otherwise, you don't know, like, why does a motorcycle cost $8,000 and a top-of-the-line mountain bike cost $8,000? The motorcycle has so many more moving parts and important shit on it, and that bicycle doesn't, right? The bicycle's got, you got some maybe S-Works components or something on there, and they're expensive, but like, really? The motorcycle's got carbon fiber. The motorcycle's made of aluminum and titanium and everything else. And it's got 4,000 moving parts versus a few hundred moving parts on the bicycle. Plus you have warranty situations and service centers and blah, 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 blah. And bike shops don't have that. Because somebody did a graph and figured out that dentists who like to go mountain biking on the weekends will pay $8,000 for a mountain bike. Simple as that. And they did that with a calculation. And then you've got other calculations come into play. Calculations like the economics of affluence, where you have a high luxury item, and that high luxury item cannot ever go on sale. Like, if you have a Louis Vuitton bag at some fancy outlet on Rodeo Drive, you're never going to see 20% off sale like in the window on Rodeo Drive, because it would eat away at the exclusivity of that bag. You want that bag to be as expensive as humanly possible, so only a few people can buy it, and then it creates a huge demand. So you won't see like Oakley sunglasses for sale at Costco, right? You won't see Rolex for sale at Costco, which is why Rolex sued Costco, because Rolex makes really fancy watches but has different price points for them in different places around the world. So if you buy a Rolex here in the US, you're paying $30,000 for it. That same Rolex for sale in Peru might be $3,000. And so one of Costco's buyers went down to South America, bought a boatload of Rolex watches for cheap, took them back to Costco, and Costco put them up for sale for a fraction of the price of what they would normally sell for in the U.S. But because they weren't a licensed dealer, they got sued by Rolex and lost. The motorcycle that costs $8,000 here might cost $4,000 in India, right? So there's equations all over the place as to what, where, when, why stuff are done. You may not do those equations yourself, but someone out there is doing them. And as a math teacher, I want you to at least be cognizant of that fact. Like, your English teacher teaches you poetry, and you're like, when am I ever going to use poetry in my life? You get taught how to paint in your art class. When am I ever going to use painting in my life? It's just, it's general knowledge. You're learning something just because you know other people out there are doing it. And, if you don't learn it, how are you going to know if you like it or not, right? You may find the right math teacher comes along, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, math makes so much sense to me. I'm going to become a mathematician. A friend of mine went off to Brown. He's a smart guy. Went off to Brown. He wanted to be an actor, and that's all he wanted to do. He wanted to be an actor. He was in the acting program at Brown. Had to take this survey of math course, like Math 100 for morons. And the teacher was so much fun, and he learned so much. He took the second, survey of math 2. And before long, he switched his major from acting to mathematics, and now has a PhD in macroeconomics. All because of one teacher made math exciting for him. And so you get the right person tickles your fancy. The right person teaches you how to paint the right way. You might become a painter. The right person teaches you about rocks may make you become a geologist. The right person teaches you something about, plays. You may become an English playwright. I don't know. But you got to teach everybody pretty much everything at a young age so they can figure out what does they want to do and what is they're good at. Enough rambling. Okay, moving on. Josh Dobbs, if these Teddy books have actual obvious Easter eggs, doesn't that mean plausible deniability out the window? I mean, it could be obvious to us, but it will be obvious in court. Like, Your Honor, we're just making children's books. How am I supposed to know that butterflies and game overs mean things? It just happens to be what our book is about. So they'll still have plausible deniability. Says 54, exchanges working together with FINRA to help control stock prices, trading halts. See our Houston Wave for more info. It appears that the exchanges and FINRA are working together to halt stock more often on the way up than they otherwise would, to try and keep it within norms. So they don't want to run away. They kept citing meme stocks in that document. That, hey, the meme stock event in 2021, we can't let that happen again. You'll notice that the stock got halted on the way up, but when the price crashed, went from $4.80 down to $40, it didn't halt. Isn't that interesting? We halted it several times on the way up to $480, but it was crashing like a rock. We didn't halt it at all. Interesting. That seems like collusion right there right off the bat. Person names that sure have matching hammer pants. I wish. I don't think I would survive. I think I would just be like a melty puddle on the side of the thing if I had to wear pants like that too. Yogi 2012, is it possible for Congress to order SEC FINRA to maintain any records regarding MMTLP beyond the current standard? I don't see why not. It's like, hey, maintain these things until we're done with you. That would be a great way to go. Takeda Raw, Houston, happy birthday. Godzilla versus these nuts. Who wins? Godzilla. Godzilla will smash those little nuts and nuke them with his fire breath. Like that. Scott Paul on new stream. Yes, new stream. Old stream, all my video disappeared. So I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't see myself, let alone see the things I was putting up on the screen. So I had to restart everything. True damage. Is it possible to cover short positions in dark pools for these bad actors without getting caught for what they owe? I don't think so. I guess this probably twice a month at least. Dark pools are where deals get made between these brokerages, or at least between hedge fund to hedge fund, because it's OTC, it's over the counter. So you might not necessarily even be a broker. It might be like this hedge talking to this hedge fund, or this market maker talking to this family fund, and they're doing a little deal on the side, and they aren't reporting the price to anybody. When Marge comes calling and liquidations begin, right? Marge calls, said, hey, various fund, you have 24 hours to come up with $30 billion in cash, or else we're going to have to liquidate you. And then all panic ensues at whatever fund is being margin called or market maker. If they do not come up with that $30 billion the next day, 24 hours later, the broker starts liquidating them. Basically, they lose all access to everything, and they no longer have the ability to do deals on the dark pool, because everything they own is being sold, and every single dime that comes from that sale is going back into the market to purchase shares. And those shares are either going to be deleted out of existence for being synthetic, or they're going to be used to replace a synthetic share somewhere else. And that buying will happen until all that margin is eliminated. And the amount of money they have on hand and the amount of value they have on hand for assets is dwarfed by the amount of margin obligations they have. It's 30 to 1. So if you have $1 billion in assets, you've got $30 billion in liabilities. So if one of those liabilities blow up on you and it's $10 billion worth of that margin, you just lost your $1 billion in assets that got sold out from under you. You now owe $9 billion and have no assets, which means your prime broker is now on the hook for that, and they have to start selling off what they have to cover that $9 billion. So there's going to be no way these guys are able to make little deals in the dark pools to close positions or cover, because they're going to be obliterated. There won't be anyone at a desk making money, right? If you have to sell off all of your assets, you're not going to be paying any traders at your desks to like, hey buddy, do you got any sweet dark pool black tar heroin for us? They're not going to have that for you. So I don't think there's a way at all for them to do this stuff through dark pools. It's just going to be trading computers desperately trying to get their hands on anything they can to get this thing over with as fast as possible. And all those hedge funds and all those market makers who are culpable will cease to exist at that point. They just won't be there. Okay, I'm getting to the part where everyone's saying everything's freezing. Okay. Whisker Biscuit, happy BBBY birthday, Houston. Since BBY Knowles are so valuable to potential suitors, how do I sell these same suitors my MMAT Knowles for tens of dollars each? We can talk about that. Will Flex Comcast does suck in winter months. It is cold outside. Could that really be the problem? Is it like it gets to 40 degrees outside and the wires are like, no. I hate Comcast so much. They suck at their job. Like I should have like 15 megabit upload, and at the current rate I've got 2.6 megabits. You guys are jerks, man. Okay. Dearest America, did Sears really invent the internet? What? That was ARPANET. It was created by DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and various public universities on using U.S. tax dollars. I have no idea if Sears had a contract for that stuff. But if Sears invented the internet, you'd think they would have had a larger internet presence when they deleted their catalog, which is the entire reason why Amazon is successful today. Is because Jeff Bezos got the logistics people from Sears who ran the Sears catalog and put them in charge of Amazon. So Sears got rid of the catalog about the time Bezos began selling books online. Worked out perfectly. Oh, great. YouTube not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. YouTube, I have no power over this. I'm sorry. Okay. Marcus Hoffman. 2 strings walk into a bar. The bartender asks, what will it be? The first string answers, a fucking such and such. And the second string says, you have to excuse my friend. He's not He is not null terminated. What? Oh, okay. That took me a while. I thought it was going to be afraid not joke because that's the one I know. All right. Abhishek Ralhan. How safe are BBY shares with brokerages like RBC, Rollingbay Canada? I think the minute Rollingbay Canada has to write off their Chinese bonds, everything in Rollingbay Canada is going to be screwed. And you guys are probably going to be TD customers at that point. You're staring at me because you know there's about half an hour left in the show, which means stinky chicken time? Is that what we're going for? Stinky chicken? Oh, stinky chicken. Okay. Stinky chicken time. That's a silica bag. There's stinky chicken. How many stinky chickens we got left in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a feeling if bribery is a thing I gotta do tomorrow during Cherry Tuesday, you might be getting 5 stinky chickens. We'll find out. Come up here. Come up here and get your stinky chicken. Come on. Come on. Don't be shy. Get that stinky chicken. Get it. Get it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Reach for it. Come on. It's right there. It's right there. Stinky chicken. Look at that stinky chicken. It's right there. Come on. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Don't be gentle. Come on. It's right there. It's so stinky. It's waiting for you. Come on. Oh, there you go. All right. She's too polite. She's much too polite. Other dogs would have like kicked me in the face, knocked me on the ground, and that would have been that. Don't you shade you in any new stocks or options other than usual? If no, want some tickers. I'm sure everybody wants tickers there, Don. Personally, I am basically out of ammo. I'm in a holding pattern through the holidays. Gotta make sure the holiday gifts get out there. Plus, I gotta pay for things in Miami when I go down there. So I am holding what I got and hoping it'll be enough to get us through. BBBY, your cats are pretty smart. Maybe one of them is downloading kitty porn. How are you doing, fat boy? Huh? What are you doing, you little log? You log of a cat? That tail. You got a tail on your face. Yeah, get in there, monkey. Sniff that butt. Scott Paul and Don, best I could do is Jimmy or bust. Oh, cat's coming to visit. Hi, kitty. Oh, we're gonna come here and do the hack? Is that what we're doing? You're full of drugs, dude. Don't cough. Aquanaut. One sec. Well, the cat finishes herking my episode here. You got it? You good? One more? Oh, that was it? Okay, we're good. Nope, one more. Nope. Come on, coughing kitty. You alright, bud? Okay. All right. Aquanaut, the real estate commission lawsuit will make brokerage fees cheaper in short term and astronomical in the long term. Consolidation is going to raise prices for sure. I'm very curious to see who will be getting chunks of that multi-billion-dollar settlement. What it will mean for brokers, like how many brokers are going to leave the business because they aren't going to make enough money anymore. And what goes from there? Like what? I think places like around here where the homes are worth a fortune, the brokers will be fine. Places in certain areas in the Midwest and back east, I mean, like one of the reasons why homes are so expensive here is because property taxes are relatively low. $1 million house where I live, the property taxes are probably $9,000 to $12,000 a year. Whereas where my mom is from in New Jersey, you're paying $9,000 to $12,000 a year, like a $120,000 house. So they're not going to make the houses. People are not going to buy houses for millions of dollars, knowing they have to pay like $50,000 a year in taxes on it. So the likelihood of homes being super duper duper crazy expensive there is much lower than here. So yeah, I think it will definitely play a role into who goes into real estate and where. Like, if you're in real estate in a place like New Jersey, where the home prices are relatively low compared to out here on the West Coast, you're gonna have to sell 2 to 3 times as many homes a year in order to make a living. Whereas here, the right homes they have for sale, you could sell like 2 of them and live really comfortably. Because if you're getting, 3 to 6% commission off a home that's $5 million, right? So calculator game. Calculator game. Okay, so let's say you're the listing agent, and as a listing agent, you also sell. So you get your full 6% on a $5 million home, right? You just made $300,000 off one home sale, right? And so if you're selling 5 $1 million homes in a year, you also made $300,000. So you're making a very healthy living. Yeah, you got to do your own taxes and blah, blah, blah for all that stuff. But, if you want to make that same kind of living in New Jersey, right? My mom's hometown, New Jersey. So you're in Belvedere, New Jersey, right? Where the average home sells for $120K. And you are both the listing and the sales agent, so you make the entire commission. You're making $7,200. So in order to make $300,000, you're going to sell 41 homes a year. More than 42 homes a year, because I can sell part of a home. So you're going to do 42 full sales of a home a year in order to make what someone would make selling 5 homes in the Seattle area. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of people leave real estate in places where home prices are more depressed, and a lot more consolidation out there. And you'll see bigger competition out west, where home prices are ridiculously high, because property taxes are relatively low. But yeah, like something like 1/3 of 1% of real estate brokers sell this many homes. I was watching a thing about and I can't remember who sent me the video. Maybe Iggy. It was a podcast of real estate agents in Canada, and they went through how many real estate agents are in Ontario, and there's X number of tens of thousands of them, and there's only like 3% of the real estate agents sold more than 10 homes a year out of every real estate agent in all of Ontario. So there's a lot of people who probably in Ontario, you don't need to sell that many. Like, homes are really expensive in Canada. So you can only sell it. You only need to sell a few, and you're living a pretty comfortable life after that. So it's only a super elite that can sell a whole bunch. Well, if all of a sudden, here in America, you've got places where there's a boatload of real estate agents, but they're in Indiana, and all of a sudden their fee commissions cut in half. They're going to sell twice as many homes as they are now, and they're already having to sell a boatload of homes to make a comfortable living. So, see what happens. Fat cat, what do you want? You signaling me you want to go outside? Okay. Leave the room. Get out of here. Go. There you go. You happy to get your bed back? Huh? DRS Gmerica MOAS ADTX float under 1 million, heavily short interest. ADTX is getting talked about quite a bit. The Wall Street Bets, Facebook Wall Street Bets loves talking about ADTX. Are they doing anything again? They had a little run like in October, didn't they, or September? ADTX 355. Yeah, September. They had a huge run September. Went $55. And then pull them right back down again. So they did their squeeze already. Or was this reverse split? They did. Did they do a reverse split? Oh, yeah. They didn't squeeze. They did a reverse split. They did a 1 for 40. So that's why their float is so low. But, then they just get shorted to oblivion again, and then they do a reverse split again, and they get shorted to oblivion again, and then they do a reverse split again. That seems to be what the MO is on certain plays like this. So they were at Oops. Shorted. They got all the way down to T amounts. They did a reverse split. Shot up to the equivalent of $55. And then right back down again. And earlier in the year, I mean, they were up in this range. So what about their 5-year? What do we got? My guess is reverse split, and reverse split, and there's a stock that they've reduced the float so much through reverse splits. That's why there's 1 million shares left. So looks like they've had at least 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 reverse splits since 2020. So that means somebody who sold the stock here essentially made $11,000 a share off of it. That's pretty good. And then they got to short it again. And then they got to short it again. And then they got to short it again. And yeah, I mean, oof. Steve Dyson, hi, no clock. I haven't been anywhere to get a clock, Steve. Steve suggested that I put a clock in the background so that people can see, like, what, if they're watching the video later, they can figure out, like, around what time I'm broadcasting. I have not had a chance to leave the house and go get a clock yet, Steve. I will look at that. Maybe tonight after work I can swing by somewhere, if I remember. Derek Orrs, I love Pigeon Forward. So does 3-year Letterman. Coach loves it too. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, Houston. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are we stuck with 2 outcomes? 1, the economy slows down due to Fed up consumers finally decreasing demand, leading to a recession. 2, the Fed calls bluff and raises interest rates even more, leading to depression. While everyone else is stating that the economy is bullish and things can't go tits up, lol. I think the video footage of Black Friday alone tells us exactly where this Christmas season is going. This is when people make when retail makes their money for the year. And I don't know anyone who went to Black Friday anything. Do you guys? You know anyone who like Black Friday'd it up? Because I don't. I bought one thing so far, and it just happened to be on Small Business Saturday from a local small business. And that's it. I don't know. People don't seem like they're going out buying PlayStation 5s or big TVs and stuff. Everyone already has all their big TVs. Like, big TVs are so cheap now compared to what big TVs were 20 years ago that everyone has one. And then they, if their Wiimote destroys it, then they just go out and buy another one because they're like, another $300. Like too much competition or something. I think we're going to see some weird numbers for Black Friday. Maybe everyone's just buying everything on the internet and it's all going to be internet sales this year, or maybe they're just not buying stuff at all. DJ gifted 5 Houston Wave memberships. Thank you, DJ. Dear SG America, Audio Bubbles, Code Rect, Daniel Holcomb, and Lee Meadows. Woo! Thank you, DJ. So kind. So kind. Can't figure out how to get one for Andrew Stewart in there. Mulatress is here. Caught you. Keep missing your live streams. Well, come tomorrow. It's Charity Tuesday tomorrow. You were quite the Charity Tuesday awesome sauce. So yeah. Keep that shirt away from Miami. Dude, Julio, I don't think I would survive. I think I would wear this shirt and would just immediately burst into flames if I had to wear it in Miami. And then I would just have like 3rd-degree burns all over my body from it. That shirt may have come from Miami only in 1982. Robert Pierpoint. The universe could be tiny, though. We see it as huge, but whatever is simulating it from outside of this universe, it could be tiny. There's just so many particles you got to deal with. Each particle has its own algorithm attached to it, and we're dealing with things like quarks and things that make up quarks, muons and gluons, and I just can't imagine being the person that had to program that. That would suck. DRG American, no way a simulation thought of 2 girls, 1 cup. DJ Houston, wow, that's a nice latex look. Is that shirt hook up to a vacuum cleaner to suck all the air out, and you turn it into a piece of art for us to admire until your cat or dog let you loose. It is. I am warmer in this shirt than I have been in any sweater I own. I am quite toasty. Like, I could not wear this in the summertime when this room is like 130 degrees. You just watch them. It'd be a snuff film. It'd be a live stream snuff film. Now the cat wants back in. Did you do your thing, buddy? Go back in? You're just going to stare at me. Come on. It's only 10 minutes or whatever in the show left anyway, dude. There you go. All right. Okay. Coip. They have the same lawyer. Yes. Pulte and Ryan Cohen have the same personal lawyer. So there you go. Javier Martinez. Green chat. I'm buying a house soon. I noticed prices dropping. Iggy sent me something really interesting the other day. Let's go back to the Iggy chat I have here. Before that, it's like, I think it was yesterday afternoon, maybe Saturday. The house in LA, Iggy, that one. Where are you? Nope. Where'd you go? Where's the house? It's up here. Things. Zillow. Here we go. All right. So this house in LA. It's a nice, quaint little house. Got stucco. Got the nice little lawn. It's obviously a flip, right? $999,000 on Exposition Place, Los Angeles. 6 bedrooms, 3 baths, 1,500 square feet. That's a lot of bedrooms, a lot of baths for 1,500 square feet. Probably has some sort of furnished basement, and they just don't. Whatever. Okay. Scroll down to here. Where's the price history? The Zillow amount is worth $1 million. It's steady since 2014, from 400,000 up to $1 million. Peaked in March of this past year. All right. Price history. Listed for sale November 13th. Oh, listing removed in August. Put on sale in April. Listing removed. On sale. Listing removed. On sale. Listing removed. On sale. Listing removed. On sale. Dating all the way back to 2022. So the house sold February 2022 for $750,000. And 6 months later, put it up for $1.29 million. And then changed the price to $999. Removed the listing. Put it up for sale. Price changed again. So put up sale for a lot. Drop the price. Drop the price. Listing removed. Put up for sale again. So this place has had listing removed or price changes, 10 of them since August, so in a year and a half. And they just removed the listing. They put it back up for sale again. And it's not going to sell. This, it's a nice, quaint house, little LA house, blah, 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 blah. But, it's got the real estate, you got staged. It's been sitting this way probably for a year and a half, completely staged, not rented out to anybody. And, it got all the normal quick flip things done to it in those few months after they bought it. Somehow there's 6 bedrooms in here. And these bathrooms, everything's done with a fisheye lens. But, or maybe they're counting these as bathrooms or bedrooms back here. Then the garage patio area. But, this house is not going to sell for $1 million. No one is going to buy this house for $1 million, 8% interest. And so they keep taking it off because they don't want it to sit on the MLS listing. It's been here for 3 months. They take it off and they relist it. So it pops up brand new again. Like, oh, it's only been on the market for 2 weeks. But you look at the price history, it's been up there forever. So housing prices are dropping. Let's look at we can see the greater LA area here. Where's this house? This house is right in here. So Electrician Park, University Park. All right. So where are we? Oh, there's downtown Los Angeles. Okay. Downtown out here. But so many houses, millions, 16 million. Goodness gracious. 850, 4.9, 2.5. 10 million, 17 million, 17 million. So this is like up Wilshire towards Beverly Hills. You get away from Beverly Hills, cheapest looking at $750K. Everything else 3.5 million, 1.5, 4.6, 1.1. This is like should be middle class, blue collar. You know, everything is 1 point something million, 2 point something million. Cheap stuff 629. That's probably a dump. It's a lot. There's nothing there. There's just a piece of land. It's a 6,000 square foot lot. So you're paying $10,000 a square foot. Or sorry, $10 a square foot for that lot. It's ridiculous. Yeah, this is sustainable. This is probably a lot too. Oh, 2-bedroom. There you go. 2-bedroom house under $700,000. That's probably the cheapest house in all of LA right there. Dang. Someone should jump on that. No, it's still $6,000 a month for your mortgage. That's unsustainable. This is a major American city where the average income is family income is probably $60,000 a year, and the only houses available are $1 million or more. That's not sustainable. That is how the economy crashes, and that's how you get shows like that. What was that House Flippers show? Toreg and what's her name? And then they end up getting divorced because the Toreg guy was like cheating on his wife, and then she made a new show and he made a new show. Whatever. Like they started buying homes at auction because no one could afford their homes anymore, and everything went up for auction. They bought them for cheap and flipped them. That's how they came out of the 2008 market. And now they're trying to flip homes that cost them $1 million. And they got to sell them for $2 million to make their money off of them. Suljo, yo Houston, what do you know about the $149 trillion needs to be paid for swaps 1215? Nothing other than that the swaps exist. So it's a swap, it's UBS swap. We believe probably was a Credit Suisse swap that UBS took on. It was minted or printed or created around March 2021 when Archegos was failing. The entire liability is listed at $999.99999999999 trillion, so basically a quadrillion dollars. The par value is 15 cents, so basically 15% on the dollar for that thing. So 150 trillion about. We don't know what's in it. We don't know why no one wants it or why someone thinks they can try and sell it. We don't know what's going to happen on 1215. I'm sure somebody with a Bloomberg terminal will be able to tell us what's happening on that day, but we don't. Otherwise, we don't know. We don't know. BBBY brand 6 beds, not bedrooms. No, yeah, bunk beds. Augie, Houston, are you saying if SPAC non-DS shares are getting nothing? No. You will be pieces of liability that want to have to buy off of you. So they'll have to buy you to delete you, or they'll buy other shares to replace the nothingness you have. And that's why the price would fly there, Augie. Okay. That's not important. All right. Bacon Hair 1377. What are you talking about? I just got here. Give me a conversation piece and I'll talk about it. Scott Paul and Bacon, do you pledge allegiance to the one only GME? So Bacon Hair has no idea what's going on, but welcome, my man. Scott Pollen uses a shotload of polynomials and economic analysis. Mm-hmm. Bacon Hair, I'm new to this channel, so I'm watching, so I don't know what's going on. You and me both, man. We're just in this together at this point. Siljo, can 1215 swaps situation trigger MOAS? I have no idea, Siljo. It's a weird one for sure. Like, who packages that much liability into a swap and expects, and where does that much liability come from? How, like, what is, let's look up net worth of planet Earth. Pressure on so yeah, the US does 80 trillion a year. We know that. Astrophysicist says the Earth is worth $5 quadrillion. So basically, of course, astrophysicists from September of last year, the liability in that swap is 1/5 of the entire globe's net worth. That is life, ecosystems, economy, resources. So I don't know who managed to destroy 20% of the globe's entire net worth and put it into one equity swap, but they did. And yeah. In 2015, the total wealth of the world in 2015 was $250 trillion, according to Credit Suisse in their annual global wealth report. Well, we know how that worked out for them. So this quadrillion-dollar equity swap has more liability than the entire value of all the wealth on Earth in 2015. Interesting. All right. Steve Dyson, is BBY likely to cause ripples in international markets, much like the subprime scandal 2008? Oh, if it plays out the way I think it's going to play out, yes. It will cause market makers to go under, hedge funds to go under, major banks to seek emergency funding from the Federal Reserve and so on. So yeah, it will have massive repercussions across the market. Yeah. Am I glitching again? Dang it, man. I'm a glitch man. Why, Tyler, the audio is dreadful. I deal with similar Wi-Fi issues. I apologize. I have no power over what Comcast does. None. Eric Johns, Wade, what's the most raised for charity of all time? Last month was our record. For Children International, we raised $4,709. So hopefully Charity Tuesday tomorrow will be we can beat that record. I'm going to advertise to all the major subreddits and see what we can do for Toys for Tots. Make sure a whole bunch of kids have a great holiday season and aren't stuck coming down the stairs all excited Christmas morning and then there's nothing there for them. We want them to be able to have a pleasant Christmas and enjoy their holiday as much as we can. Yes. Beaver Brand 4,709 was very much a group effort. Oh my God, it was a group effort. Plus Monkey had to eat 9 stinky chickens to get you guys there. Yeah. I got 5 minutes left, folks. And then I gotta run. I'll put the link up. For the charity show the minute this show's over. I'll get that going. And hopefully won't have terrible internet tomorrow. And see how it goes. To shreds, you say. Apparently this was the biggest Black Friday for online shopping. It was pretty huge in 2020 and 2021. I think they had like 14 billion in those years for Black Friday. And it's down, it's like 9 billion before that. So, yeah. The brand of Cyber Monday still a thing? I guess so. We'll find out. Peter sent to Houston. We just started GoFundMe so you can have some sort of mattress and a heater in a U-Haul. I don't know if I'll need a heater in a U-Haul in Miami. Although my sister was born December 15th in 76, and it was like the first day they had measurable snowfall in Miami in recorded history. So anything can happen, I guess. S2002. What's your timeline for BBYQ? Do you see anything important happening in December? I have no timeline, man. My thing was BBBY needs to be made the plaintiff in the pump and dump lawsuit so they can just get rid of the thing. And apparently that looks like it was what happened today. The judge was like, makes sense. Good to go. I'm sure some lawyers can weigh in on that later and let us know exactly what it all means. But it appears like the judge in that case is pretty okay with BBBY becoming the plaintiff and the original plaintiffs have no standing anymore. So, legal minds, rain down on me, bringing me the information. I would love to hear it. But timeline outside of that, I think once they get the pump and dump case all wrapped up, news, fancy news, filed documents, the SEC, cash is coming, equity's coming, blah, blah, blah. This is our grand scheme. Shorts are screwed. I think that's what they're looking for. OG Starkiller Houston, the original Thanksgiving was the 30th, and the RC Makes Thanksgiving Great was tweeted on 11:29 a.m. Okay. Works for me. Video brand wearing a plastic shell really cuts down heat loss from breezes. I have no heat loss in this shirt, man. Montreal CR is giving us something in Hebrew, and I have no idea what it says. How do I highlight? There we go. All right, let's see what Montreal CR has to say. Hebrew to English. Wink. Enter text. Paste. Hello, Houston. Soon to finish. Very good team with PP. Okay. Okay, Montreal CR. There we are. There's our translation. Hello, Houston. Soon to finish. Very good team with PP. Team that PP. Video brand on a scale of 0 to 1, the Earth is worth 1. That's a good scale. That's as good a scale as you can get. One astronomical unit of wealth. Scott Paul talking about don't buy homes till the rates drop. Or if you have cash, I guess you can do that. If folks have... Oh, it's 4:30. I got going. All right. Everybody, Charity Tuesday tomorrow. I hope to see you all there. Bring your friends, family, rich neighbors who want to help kids get a quality holiday season. We're raising money for Toys for Tots. It'll be 2 p.m. Pacific tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern is when we'll start the show. And maybe we'll break a record. We've raised, I want to say, close to $3,000 for Toys for Tots in the last 2 years. So this is our third year. That's those 2 years together, so about $1,500 each year. Maybe we can crush that record and be like Toys for Tots legendary donors on this one. I'll catch you guys all tomorrow and have a great one. Right? Let's there we go. We'll do this one. Boink.